Have you ever thought about this? What if your greatest weakness as a leader was actually just the shadow side of your greatest strength? Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating framework that explores exactly that and how figuring it out can unlock some serious growth for you and your whole team.
So let's just chew on this for a second. What if a leader's superpower, the one thing they're absolutely brilliant at, is the very same thing that creates their biggest blind spot? And that right there is the big idea we're going to unpack.
All right, first up, let's explore this powerful concept. Every single leadership style comes with an unavoidable trade-off.
It sounds simple, right? But it's actually a huge deal. No single leader can be everything to everyone. It's just not possible. Think about the visionary who can see 5 years into the future. Well, they might completely overlook the critical details of today. Or that dynamic, high-energy motivator. They might really struggle with the quiet, steady work of deep mentorship. Now, this isn't about being flawed. It's just about understanding the natural, built-in balance of leadership. Now, you might be wondering where this framework comes from. It's from an organization called the Church Building System. And yeah, its origins are in a faith-based context. But as you're about to see, these 5 leadership archetypes are incredibly insightful for any team in any field. I'm talking startups, nonprofits, big corporations, you name it. Okay, so our first group of archetypes are what we'll call the visionaries. These are the leaders who are fundamentally focused on direction, on purpose, and on what could be.
And even within this visionary camp, you've got 2 pretty different flavors. You've got the apostle, who is the hands-on builder of the vision, and then you have the prophet, who's more like the moral and strategic guide for that vision.
So first up, the apostle, or as I like to call them, the builder. Think of this person as the architect or the pioneer. They have this incredible, almost magical gift for taking a blank canvas and building something amazing from nothing. They're the ones who break new ground and get things off the ground. But there's always a flip side, right? Because these builders are always pushing forward. Their pace can be relentless. It's often way too fast for the deep inner work a team needs. And because they're so focused on building the thing, they aren't naturally wired to provide that sustained personal care for team members who might be struggling. They can even become a bottleneck if they don't eventually learn to hand things off. Now let's look at our other visionary, the prophet, or the guide. This leader is basically the conscience of the organization. They're like the moral compass. They have this powerful ability to see the right path, to call for alignment to the mission, and they are not afraid to confront the stuff that's pulling the team off course. They bring a ton of clarity and conviction. And you can probably already see the trade-off here, can't you? The prophet's strength is in truth-telling and these big, abstract revelations. That means they often struggle with the day-to-day practicalities of leading an organization or managing big groups. They're not really the person you go to for a comforting shoulder to cry on, and they often need help turning their powerful insights into a structured, actionable plan. All right, let's switch gears. We're moving from the visionaries to the people leaders. These next 2 archetypes are all about connecting with, mobilizing, and caring for the actual human beings who make up the team. And again, we've got 2 sides to this coin. The evangelist, who is an outward-facing mobilizer, always drawing people in, and the pastor, who is an inward-facing nurturer, focused on caring for the community you already have. The evangelist, or the mobilizer, is the ultimate spark plug. I mean, if your organization was a car, this person is the ignition. They are phenomenal communicators who talk about the vision with this infectious passion. They activate growth, bring in new energy, and are absolute masters at boosting momentum. When you need to get people excited and on board, this is who you turn to. So the evangelist's energy is amazing for planting tons of seeds. But here's the catch. The skills you need to plant 1,000 seeds are totally different from the skills you need to tend the deep roots of one plant. That high-octane energy for activation comes at a cost because they aren't naturally wired for the slow, methodical work of long-term development or structured leadership. Now, contrast that with the pastor, the nurturer. This leader's superpower is creating a safe, supportive community. Their whole gift is about care, protection, and nurturing the flock. They build that relational glue that makes a team feel like a family, making sure everyone feels seen and valued. They're the heart of the team. But you know where this is going, right? When you're all about protection and comfort, it often creates a real reluctance to embrace risk. Pastors aren't really designed to be large-scale builders or to initiate radical change. They often struggle to push people into sacrifice or confront stagnation, mainly because it could disrupt that harmony of the community they work so hard to protect. And that brings us to our final archetype,
This is the knowledge leader, the one who grounds the entire organization in truth and understanding, the teacher. The teacher's job is to bring clarity. Their main function is to explain the truth, to establish the foundational principles, the why behind the work, and to develop the materials that help everyone learn and grow. They make sure everyone is on the same page, reading from the same playbook. So when you're laser focused on the what and the why, you can sometimes forget about the let's go. Teachers are not pioneers, and they can struggle to spark those deep emotional breakthroughs or mobilize people into quick action through explanation alone. Their gift is knowledge, but it isn't necessarily activation. So, we've met all 5 archetypes. Now for the most critical part of all of this. Why is this balance so absolutely key for building a great team? Okay, if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. We waste so much time searching for this flawless, perfect leader who can do it all, a visionary who's also deeply nurturing and a great teacher. But guess what? That person doesn't exist. The goal isn't to fix an individual's weaknesses. It's to build a complementary team.
And this is where the magic happens. Look at how this all fits together like a puzzle. The apostle is charging ahead, but their need for long-term care is covered by the pastor. The prophet has this incredible vision, but their need for structure is met by the teacher. The evangelist is great at getting things started, and that's balanced by the pastor's gift for deep development. See? Each leader's blind spot just becomes an opportunity for another leader to use their strength. It's this beautiful, interdependent system. It really all boils down to this one idea. A healthy, thriving organization doesn't rely on one superhero leader. It relies on a team of different leaders who recognize, honor, and depend on each other's unique strengths. They complete each other, creating a whole that is so much more powerful than any one person could ever be. So I'll leave you with this to think about. As you look at these 5 archetypes, which one are you? Which one feels most like you? And maybe even more importantly, looking at your own blind spots. Who is the leader you need by your side to create a truly balanced and unstoppable team? Thanks for joining.